Yo, what's good, everybody? In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about the biggest myth or the biggest hype that there has been for the gaming community since I think the 10 series graphics card was announced or came out or whatever, which is the fact that 4K gaming, like what is actually 4K gaming? Like how can you achieve it? Like is it possible to achieve it on a budget? Like how to make use of 4K gaming even on a budget or whatever. So my premise is we've all been hyped for the longest time, like I said, since like 2016 about 4K gaming and how it's actually here and how you can actually play your games at 4K or whatever. And there are two sides of the coin. There's obviously the side where you can actually play 4K natively on a monitor, 32, 27-inch monitor, whatever, at high fidelity, but probably stick to like 60 to like maybe at most like 80 FPS, depending on the title. And there's also the other side of the story where we talk about actually upscaling, which is what most people and what was sold to us as the most as a gaming community, which is the fact that you can render your game at a lower quality and then using AI, I know buzzword like the word of 2025, upscale it to like 4K. So I think you take, depending on the settings that you choose, you could take a 1440p image and then shoot it up to like 4K or a 1080p image and like shoot it to 4K. Sure, depending on how close or far you are from the image, you either will notice it or you probably won't notice it. And by noticing it, I mean like seeing how soft the image is compared to like truly 4K and stuff. But nobody talks about the marketing side of 4K and the actual the sales pitch that companies have been doing for like close to like a decade now, which is 4K gaming. 4K gaming. Like sure, depending on the gear and equipment that you have, you can play 4K on older titles like older AAAs and esports and whatever. But it's not gonna give you the advantage that most people look for and like a true like all-arounder 4K powerhouse. Like sure, you can shoot yourself in the foot and just pony up for a 5090, and then you can maybe run your games on natively at 4K depending on the game, depending on the settings and the quality and stuff. But like if most people are sold the dream of true 4K gaming, like you're expecting like the highest fidelity, highest quality, highest settings that you could achieve. And most of us now, most of us gamers in 2025 are expecting like high refresh rate. So let's say this is a 1440p monitor right now. So if it was 4K and technically I had the gear for it, I would expect that I could run 4K games on the native refresh rate of this monitor, which is 165. But sadly, that's not the case. Depending on how good your gear is, well, your rig is, or how bad it is, or how underpowered in this case is, it might not be the case. Like, sure, like I said, you can go either one or two routes. You could go super budget, where you could go like a 9060 XT, like 16 gigs for like where you could use the high quality presets and stuff. But then you're gonna have to use upscaling because that's a budget gaming card. So if you actually truly want to play 4K, you either had to relegate it to older titles, like older AAA games like GTA 5. What else? Maybe you could run Red Dead 2 4K, depending on your rig, maybe with no upscaling, even though I don't know whether or not it does have upscaling. What else? You can maybe run like titles from like 2020, maybe in 4K, with depending on your rig and stuff. But there's always a compromise because they tell you, yeah, sure, you can run 4K games, but they don't tell you about what frame rate. They don't tell you what fidelity, like what graphic settings you can run it, and doesn't future proof you to like the next generation of games. Because let's say I buy today a 5090, like sure, I might be able to play today's AAAs in like 4K, maybe even tomorrow's game or like next year's game, and maybe even 2027's game. But then after that, it's gonna struggle, even though it has 24 gigs and it's gonna be fast as heck, but it's gonna struggle because not all games are created equally. Most companies right now are not optimizing games and stuff. So there's always like the toss up. There's always like a catch where you gotta compromise something. Like sure, you can run, like I said, on a 9060 XT 16 gigs, you can run 4K gaming on your, let's say on your living room, on your couch or whatever. But then you have to rely on upscaling, and then you gotta sit like super back so you don't notice the either the artifacting or the softness of the image and stuff like that. So there's gonna be a compromise. Like sure, I can run 4K on my gaming rig, which is a 7700X and a 6800 XT, sure, but I'm gonna have to compromise on something, either fidelity or I'm gonna have to choose to do upscaling. And at that point, is it really worth it? Like investing all that time and effort just to run 4K gaming, probably poorly optimized settings and probably poorly optimized frame rates. Either like I know people are now getting into their first, I guess, PC console with the Steam Deck and stuff, and you can run games like a 40 FPS, like no problem. But not every game is gonna be the same. Like not every game is gonna be hugely optimized for like 40 FPS or for like low settings stuff like that. So there's always something that's gotta give. Like sure, you might run 4K gaming now, but who knows tomorrow? Who knows next year? Who knows the year after that? And then you always have to chase the 4K gaming, 4K gaming. Even though you could buy like a I don't know a 1060 from like almost a decade ago and still play 1080p gaming, or you could buy I don't know a graphics card from like a few years ago, maybe even the same one I have is from like 5 years ago, and you can run perfectly high FPS, 1440p gaming. And most people say that that's what they prefer because they cannot notice the difference between 1440p and 4K, but you definitely notice the difference in quality from 1080p to 1440p. So again, that's up to you whether you want to make a compromise or not, or whether you want to chase that 4K gaming mentality, whether you rely on upscaling or not, whether you care about upscaling or not, whether you're a true purist where you don't like, oh no, I have to run thing on bare metal and it has to be like native quality or whatever. Because now there's like this huge backlash on not whether, but upscaling versus native. Right now, people are saying, most YouTubers or whatever, that technically native resolution is doom or it's done for whatever. But I don't know. It's up to you. It depends. Up to you guys. So again, what did you think about this? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, if you like this content, let me know, giving me a thumbs up and leaving me a comment. And again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.